What up, fam? Do you need some extra tools that's going to help your life be the best that it can possibly be? Are you constantly juggling work, family, and personal time only to feel drained and unfulfilled? That's where the book that I wrote called The Balanced Life can be your guide to reclaiming your time, energy, and happiness with practical strategies for setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and achieving real balance. This book helps you create a life that you love without the burnout. Get ready to break free from the chaos and step into a life of purpose and peace. Grab your copy of The Balanced Life because you deserve a life that works for you. Also, we have The Unraveling. It's a journal to help you write, reflect, and heal. Your thoughts matter. Your feelings deserve space. The Unraveling Journal is more than just a notebook. It's your personal guide to self-reflection, healing, and growth. With guided prompts, mindfulness exercises, and room to express yourself freely, this journal helps you untangle emotions, process life's challenges, and rediscover clarity. Take a moment for you. Write, reflect, and heal, one page at a time. And fam, also another book written by my wife is Healthy Relationships. Because fam, you know this. Great relationships don't just happen. They're built. Whether it's with your partner, kids, friends, or co-workers, strong connections are the foundation of a happy life. In healthy relationships, you'll learn how to communicate better, set healthy boundaries, and nurture trust in every relationship that matters to you. Because when your connections thrive, you thrive. Start building stronger, healthier relationships today. Order your copy at kingdomservantsfirst.com. Once again, that's kingdomservants1st.com. Fam, we want you to be the best version of yourself. Get one of these books today. God bless. Family, what's up? Welcome to the Bacon Bits podcast, where we desire for you to take the bits of information and immediately apply them to your lives for success. The ground rules for our podcast is that it will always be encouraging, uplifting, and informative. The areas of life that we'll be talking about today on the Bacon Bits podcast is dealing with having a balanced life. And now you know I need to hear y'all say it. Say valuable information,
información
applied,
aplicado
equals success. And as you can tell, I am on the podcast with the queen of my heart, my baby, the wonderful Diana Acosta-Bacon. How are you,
babe.
my love?
Hey babe, how are you?
I am doing good. Anytime I'm on here with you, girl. And our topic of discussion today is a holy longing.
Yeah. We're going to talk about this holy longing. So if you're longing for something, sometimes we feel melancholy or sad about it because you feel like you want something or you lack something very much. And it could be the verb, it could be, what is semantics? Is that how you say it? Semantics. Maybe you feel like I have a desire within me. I have a hope, a wish, a burning something. It's this holy longing. Like, what if that this longing that you feel, some people long to be married. They long to have a better job. They long to have a big house. They long to have another car. We all have a longing.
Yeah,
we all have a hope, a wish, a desire. The lottery, like everybody has this longing, right?
Something.
But what if this longing is so much deeper than what we even know?
Yeah.
What if maybe when we're born we cry because we have been separated from God? What if in that moment we start to cry and we spend the rest of our life trying to figure out a way to get that back? That feeling, that presence, that all-consuming exhale. Where nothing matters because all peace is within us and is us because we are in his arms. What if that's the longing that we're all trying to fill with stuff
Mm-hmm.
or people or substances, but it's a holy longing that never goes away.
Yeah. And there's so many things, obviously that provoke that. Y'all know I think in music, so used to be this song called "Yearning for Your Love," and that's what makes me really think about like you're yearning to fill that void that I firmly believe that only God can. And like I said, my baby said, we put so many things in place of that, and it's getting to the point of, okay, when do I feel at my happiest? When do I feel at my joyous? But also, when do I feel at, sometimes you get it from your sadness. It's I gotta feel that void some kind of way. And so I think I would love to talk about what's the different things that cause is that wonderful yearning, that wonderful longing that's so deep inside of us.
I don't know about cause. I think that it's something as being human that we're innately just born within. And as babies, we don't have articulation for it. Even as we get older, some people in their 70s and 80s and 90s cannot really seem to articulate it. So there's this word that I like. It's called to become a spiritual architect.
Mm-hmm.
So a spiritual architect is a soul who builds worlds from silence and leads with a sacred purpose. So I think at some point in our life, we have to learn how to become our own spiritual architect, right? Because we all carry this ache at the center of being human.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how we're built. I don't know. I think I've seen dogs as well. I've never had cats, but I've seen dogs also be sad and
mm-hmm.
long to go out to play. They
Right.
bring you the ball and they want to play. They want to go on a walk. It's not, maybe it's just not a human thing.
Right.
But it's a kind of longing that it doesn't go away with a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go away with a great cup of coffee. It doesn't go away with another add to cart, a new purchase, a new purse, a new outfit. Because it's a longing for more than that. It's a longing for not stuff. It's often accompanied with a sorrow. That's why people do retail therapy. They call it therapy. They call it what it is. They call it happy hour because they're trying to get happy drinking.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to find
correct.
things to fill it. It's like this lack that they feel like they need to fill in some capacity.
Mm. But there are some things that does cause it to happen. Like I'm a firm believer that deep loss or grief, when someone you love dies or something breaks that you thought would last forever, I think that brings you back to, okay, I thought that might have been the thing that was going to fill that void, but it provoked me to cause me to think deeper of, okay, now that that's gone, that person is gone, that opportunity is gone, that caused me to have that longing. What is it? Because that sometimes something provokes it, I
Sometimes,
believe.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like deep loss and grief, I think are moments. But you can go totally opposite though. You can go moments of awe, like when you see a beautiful sunset or beautiful sunrise, and man, that can cause that's just, I would love to have this moment and just keep it forever, because it was so awe-inspiring at that moment. The beautiful ocean, you hear the waves. It was something in that moment that just caused you there's something bigger than me that's causing me to love this moment, because it ain't material. It's just a moment.
Yeah, but I think my perspective is a holy longing is something that we're just innately born with as
Yeah, I
humans. I
believe
just
that.
think it's something
Yeah.
we're innately born with as humans, and I think loss and grief are all real, but it's not necessarily a longing. That would be just grief and loss. There's something in us that sometimes feels a little restless, maybe. Sometimes we feel easily disappointed, and sometimes we're just plain tired. And some people choose to numb out, and there you go. Their happy hours, the substances, the things that never fill that space, that void. And sometimes, sadly, we give up believing that it's possible to be filled.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, it's the when theory that when I lose weight, I'll be happy. When I get married, I'll be happy. When I get a new car, it'll be better. When I have a house, it'll be great. When never comes. When never arrives, because it's a constant searching, and that constant searching to fill that holy longing. It's a divine longing. It's a holy longing. It's a void that isn't filled with stuff or coffee or rest or drugs or alcohol or people. What we're seeking is like this spiritual experience that's going to be big enough to hold this beautiful, fractured, unfinished life that we're living. That's what we're really needing. Is we want that. So we go to the retreats, right? We go to the retreats, we go to the seminars, we go to the courses, to the classes, hoping to satisfy this longing. But it's a fire that's always kind of flaming, even if the wick feels like it's low. Just like a candle, right? Because the appetite for that longing is bigger than stuff or moments. I remember after my second brain surgery, it was really, really hard. And I had to relearn some basic stuff. But I was trying to figure out, how do I learn some basic stuff? I wanted to swallow the whole world. I wanted to swallow the whole world and experience every texture, every piece of fabric, every color, every taste, every smell. Maybe not the sounds, because sounds were a lot, but I remember I want to swallow the world, and I couldn't figure it out. And granted, I was disabled, but sometimes that's how we feel. Sometimes I hear, like, I work with these beautiful, precious senior saints, and they feel disabled because they can no longer walk, they can no longer do things, and it's just their age doesn't allow them the opportunity. And they say, I wish I would have before. Like, I wish I could see my kids. I wish I can go to my house. I wish I can just go outside. I wish, and this is a holy longing. It's almost like we have to be, rather than necessarily reflect outwards, we have to inflect inwards and become those things that we need, become that safe place, become a place where it's safe to cry within ourselves, or laugh, or rejoice, and just submerge myself in all of it, like a reincarnation of my own body and soul. And I think disability doesn't provoke that. I think life provokes that. People who've gone through divorce, it provokes that reincarnation of who am I to be now. We dress different, we look different, we walk different, right? Going through divorce, going through an accident, going through separation, moving from job to job, moving from state to state, going overseas. There's so many reasons that people, they feel the need to reinvent themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's also the part about, like, what appears as unanswered longings. Guess what? I'm waiting for that healing to take place, and that's what the healing is taking place. We're waiting for that special love. Like, love is taking place in the meantime. You got. I'm waiting for this breakthrough that seemed like it's never happening. The breakthrough is happening, but I think sometimes we put our own perception of what that looks like, and our own desire how we want it feel, versus it's happening right before our eyes, but how are we interpreting that?
Yeah, and I think that's the key, is that people want something spectacular move to happen. That's why they go to the seminars and the talks and the retreats and the big tent revivals or something. They're trying to fill that space, and they leave and they're like, meh, or they're on fire for 2 days and then it's over, right? And like, I know I'm not the only one with this feeling of urgency to fill it, like this, like you talked about before, like a loss to fill something you once felt. But sometimes it's just to fill, everything can be going great. Like, I'm doing great. Right. Yeah, I'm disabled, but my life is doing well because I choose. Not always easy. Right. Just because I make it look easy doesn't mean it's easy.
You are correct.
But I have a great relationship. I have a wonderful husband. My children are healthy. My grandchildren are amazing. Just because everything is well doesn't mean I still don't have an urgency to swallow the world. I still want to swallow the world to try and fill that space, right? Yeah. And I know I'm not the only one with this urgency to to live, to not die before I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's, can I share this poem that I have?
Yeah, go for it. Hey?
So Virginia Woolf wrote this poem, and I really like this poem. So I'm going to share it with you. Oh, hold on one second.
Now, who is Virginia Woolf again?
Virginia Woolf is the one who wrote this poem. I think she's an author. So, Virginia Woolf, whatever happens, stay alive. Don't die before you're dead. Don't lose yourself. Don't lose hope. Don't lose direction. Stay alive with yourself, with every cell of your body, with every fiber of your skin. Stay alive. Learn, study, think, read, build, invent, create, speak, write, dream, design. Stay alive. Stay alive inside you. Stay alive also outside. Fill yourself with all the colors of the world. Fill yourself with peace. Fill yourself with hope. Stay alive with joy. There is only one thing you should not waste in life, and that is life itself.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Because going back to when you were talking about the conferences and the retreats and things of that nature, I think it's just we get that brush of God's presence, and I think it's so phenomenal in that moment, and we think we're gonna just live there the whole time, and I'm like, no,
that space, yeah, that space,
and I'm like,
yeah,
that was beautiful for that moment, and I embrace every moment of it, but I still have to come down from the mountaintop and go deal with everyday life, the stuff that don't seem spectacular at the moment, but it can be, and sometimes you don't realize, because I still one of the most phenomenal moments ever in my life, and it's crazy to think it was that phenomenal, but I didn't even realize it was that phenomenal until I continue to look back over it. And it was just like when my baby girl was 9, and I could say I'll get off work after a hard day, and she would just take her hand and stroke it across my face, and I was just like, I'm in heaven. And I'm like, this didn't cost no money, this didn't require a whole lot of intelligence. It was just a moment where you can embrace that and realize, like, that little thing right there can really fill your cup, and you wouldn't ask for it, you wasn't expecting it, but it just happened. And so sometimes those little brush of God's presence in whatever way he wants to give you a brush is so fulfilling, and you be hoping you can stay in that state forever, but sometimes we don't stay in that state. I mean, and sometimes we don't stay in that state. So it's being able to come, you hate to say, I can't say come down, it's just, embrace it for what it is, and keep life pushing. I
think what you're also like repeating in a different way is the same thing that we want to maybe get across to the listeners, is that it's not those mountaintop moments. Yeah. It's not those spectacular feats. It's not the fireworks in the sky. It's the quietness. Yeah. It's going back to being that spiritual architect of your soul. It's those quiet moments. It's that little moment where she touched your face. It's that little moment where everything's quiet. Yeah. And maybe you hear the birds outside. It's that moment where you lay in bed and you take a breath, right? It's that moment. And we're often running and rushing to try and fix this ache that simply needs some space from the stuff. Yeah. It needs some time away. It needs compassion, self-compassion, empathy, and kindness, and love. And it's a divine longing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think part of, we got to say, and this is a different take on it, because it's hit my mind, but sometimes when you see the injustices of the world, when people are getting done wrong and people aren't treated accordingly, it does cause you to yearn for something for somebody else, Justice. So I think that's beautiful, when that happens, that you're yearning for, like, man, you know what, I don't want to just be living, this good life, or if I'm not living, what I appear to be a good life at that moment. You just say, what can I do to be a blessing to somebody else? And you have a yearning to help, other people become their best version of themselves. So, and whatever that way that might look. So it could be so varied. And it, like I said, just for me, it's just with people, with, mental assessments or illness. Yeah. And then you say, with drugs and alcohol, and that gives me a fire to see, a yearning to say, what, let me help this person with it. Whatever, God, words you're going to give me, whatever examples I could explain to them, that's going to help them have a better life so their kids can have a better life. So I think about that's a yearning every day. It's like, Lord, how can I get closer to you by helping somebody, have their best life. So I yearn for that. So that's like a daily yearning, is what can I do to help somebody have a better life in whatever capacity that may be.
Yeah. Martin Luther King, it made me think of that quote that he says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's like this holy fire that it flames up. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe not for me, it's not, Lord, what can we do? But it's, how is my relationship with God affecting my daily life?
Yeah.
How is it affecting my daily life? And what I want the listeners to hear, is that what you're feeling, that holy longing, what you're feeling is just being human.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not incomplete. You are not too much. And you are most definitely not too little. You lack no thing. You lack no person, no place, no substance. The problem with this holy longing is that it's not a problem.
Right.
We start to believe it's a problem.
Come on.
We start to believe we're too much because we want too much. We start to lower our standards. And we believe that God is absent, or he is hidden from your life. But God is not outside our longing. He's not outside our aching. He's not outside of our grief. He sits in it with us. So wherever you are right now, in the longing, in the aching, maybe you're bored, maybe you're buzzing with hope or excitement, know that you are not alone. Not in your grief, not in your questions, not in your singleness, not in your brokenness, not in your whole unfinishedness feeling. God is not outside of this longing. He's not outside of the waiting, or you're wandering around, or you're wanting while you're longing. He is in it with us in our confusion, in our strength, and most definitely in our weakness.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What else can be said? What else needs to be said?
I'm just really grateful. I'm very, very grateful that even in a healthy relationship, even in a healthy space within our minds and our thoughts and our words, that we can look past that. Don't think that it's something wrong with you or your friend or your loved one because you still have a longing.
Yeah.
It's a sacred, divine fire that is never meant to be filled by people or things.
Amen. And we can't ask for nothing honestly better than that. Family, we love you. We adore you. You absolutely know we only want the best for you. Glad to get a chance to do this thing with you again called life, baby. Thank you for being on this episode, and we're going to continue to do what God has blessed us to do to be a blessing to those around us. This is your boy John Bacon with the wonderful Diana Acosta-Bacon, and this is the Bacon Bits Podcast. We love you guys. God bless. What's up, family? If this podcast has inspired you, encouraged you, made you think deeper, or even just made you smile, then I have a simple ask. Would you consider supporting this work? Creating this podcast takes time, heart, and resources, from equipment and editing to outreach and hosting. Each episode is a labor of love aimed at lifting people up and speaking life into real situations. But I can't do it alone. Your donation, big or small, helps keep the meaning going and the message. It helps us grow, reach more people, and continue producing powerful content that uplifts, educates, and empowers. If you've been blessed by this platform, I invite you to sow into it. Help us keep the mic on and the message moving. You can give at Zelle or Cash App using the links in the description box. Thank you for being part of the journey. With gratitude, the Bacon Bits Podcast, where we speak life, purpose, and legacy, one episode at a time.